Sonic Frontiers is the next mainline Sonic game and Sega's next flagship Sonic title. It's been in development since early 2019. It was announced in late 2021, and in early 2022, we still don't have any gameplay footage of what's set to be one of, if not the, most anticipated and ambitious Sonic game, and the game is set to come out in December of this year. I'm really not trying to get my hopes up about this game, especially since, again, we don't have any gameplay of the game yet. We've been getting small details about the game, like how it supposedly has 6 playable characters, there are 24 cyberspace levels. The game is supposedly harder than Sonic Forces, which isn't very hard to beat. They're aiming for high review scores this time, whatever that means. But until I see some gameplay, I'm not forming an opinion on the game. It does seem that we'll be getting gameplay on the 9th of June, so I might make something about that. But until then, I'll sum up what I want this game to be. Basically, I'll share my ideas for the game in terms of gameplay and graphics and stuff like that. I'm not much of a story person, and I'm not good at writing them either, so I'll stick with what I know. Enough blabber, let's get started. The first thing I'd like for this game to have is physics that match the adventure games, specifically Adventure 1's physics. SA2 is basically a slightly edited version of what Sonic Adventure 1's physics were, and personally, I think that was for the worse. Sonic controlled perfectly in Adventure. He had the perfect acceleration, perfect handling, both on the ground and in the air, perfect turning. Everything about Sonic's control in Adventure was perfect. I've never had better Sonic control since. So since I want this game to be fun to play, like many people, I'd want to see the adventure physics in the game. I want Sonic Frontiers to take a lot from the adventure games, which is something that will be very apparent later on in the video. Next, I'd like the game to have multiple gameplay styles. Now, while that's likely what's going to happen, I don't think Sonic Team will do it right, because just look at the last game they tried that with. The playable characters that might be in this game are Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, and a custom character. Sonic should have his adventure gameplay style. I've grown less fond of the boost formula over years, mainly because of Sonic Forces. Sonic Forces shows how boring and easy a Sonic game could be, and part of that, most of that, is because of the boost and how the levels are just so poorly designed to the point where you can literally boost through everything without a care in the world. Personally, the adventure style of gameplay makes sense and is what I personally think Sonic should play like in 3D. He should have a spin dash, lightspeed dash, bounce, maybe the lightspeed attack. Something else I think they should do for Sonic is bring back the triangle jump from Sonic Heroes. It was the perfect way to do wall jumping in 3D, and every game since Sonic 06 has wall jumping mitigated to only being usable in 2D, with games like Generations and Forces only having specific segments where the wall jump is usable. And in Forces, Sonic can't even use it. It's the custom character that gets it in one stage. Tails could have a sort of objective-based gameplay style. For instance, you could put Tails into an open area and have him complete an objective like finding a switch or collecting a certain amount of items or something like that. Tails should have his tail swipe from Adventure 1, and maybe he could have dummy ring bombs from Heroes. Tails would of course have his flight, and there would be multiple aerial attacks he could perform. If you press the square or X button in the air, Tails will do a downward tail attack that could let you bounce off of enemies. Pressing the circle or B button in the air would have Tails throw a ring bomb downwards. Could also lock onto enemies while in the air and throw bombs at them. Think the dummy ring bombs in Project 06. Holding the X button on the ground will make Tails do a continuous tail attack like in SA1. Knuckles would have his treasure hunting levels from Adventure 1. Something you could definitely improve on from the SA1 is the level design, specifically the size of the levels. Knuckles should have larger stages to run around and explore in. You could also give him Knuckles the kind of movement he had in SA2, as I personally agree that his mobility and movement and overall just control in SA2 was a little bit better than in SA1. He shouldn't be able to attack while running, and pressing the attack button 3 times would make him do a drill attack that could last longer by holding down the button. Knuckles would be able to glide and press the attack button in the air, Pressing the attack button in the air would let him do a drill move downward that could be cancelled out of at any time, like in SA2. Knuckles should also be able to dig into dirt and other materials, like rock and stuff. Amy is a bit harder to make a gameplay style for. You could make her a Sonic clone like in Heroes. Give her 06 gameplays. I'm sorry, I couldn't say that with a straight face. You could also give her a gameplay from Adventure 1. I think we should give her a mix between all three. You could have her general moveset and acrobatics from Adventure 1, her double jump from 06, and her unique attacks from Heroes. Like I said before, Amy should be acrobatic. She could perform tons of aerial attacks and grounded attacks that are quick and effective. Amy should have a stand hammer attack, but instead of just a forward pound like in Adventure 1 or 06, it should be a swing. If you press the attack button in the air, Amy will do a downward smash attack with her hammer. The triangle/Y button should be another attack button that lets Amy do a forward smash on the ground. Pressing it in the air will cause Amy to do attacks in the air. Amy should have a double jump that would make for some fun platforming. Basically, Amy would have a beat-em-up platformer style of gameplay. She would have to do platforming challenges in her levels, and she'd often have to fight off hordes of enemies. Think of like Ratchet and Clank, a Ratchet and Clank style of gameplay. Shadow would just basically be a Sonic clone with a few things that could make him unique. I would actually take some inspiration from Sonic 06 for Shadow's differences from Sonic. He could have his chaos attacks like Chaos Spear and Chaos Blast, and he could have some light combat elements, like being able to spam the homing attack button in midair when locking onto an enemy to do more damage, like in 06. Lastly, I'll cover my thoughts on things like level design and some minor things. Just like everything I've said so far, I want to take inspiration from SA1 for the level design. Sonic Adventure had open levels where you could take advantage of Sonic's abilities. There were also tons of areas with goodies that were accessible through simply exploring your surroundings, getting creative with your abilities. For Sonic Frontiers, there should be more areas where you need to be relying on spin dash jumps to progress. Like, you could have an area where there's a platform that's too far to jump or homing attack to, so you have to do a spin dash jump and homing attack into an enemy to progress or something like that. More areas where lightspeed dashes and bounces are required would also be nice. Basically, I want more levels that ask you to use the character's abilities a lot more. And this doesn't just apply for Sonic, it applies to every character. I know that we already know that Sonic Frontiers will be released on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. But I really don't want for there to be a PS4 or Xbox One version of the game. Let me explain. With most games that are on cross-generation platforms, you can't go all out with the graphics since you need to be able to run the game smoothly and have it look good on all platforms. A good example of this would be a game like Spider-Man Miles Morales. I only own the PS5 version, but the PS5 version looks absolutely stunning, and it runs at 60 FPS. But for the PS4 version, they had to heavily downgrade the graphics, and it doesn't I'm pretty sure the game doesn't even run at a smooth 60 FPS. And again, it doesn't look nearly as impressive as the PS5 version. If Sega focuses on optimizing the game for current gen platforms, the game will most likely come out looking a lot better. And those were all my hopes and ideas for Sonic Adventures. And those were all my hopes and ideas for Sonic Frontiers that I wanted to put in this video. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and give the video a like. And remember, Five Guys haters are smelly little shits.